Let's be honest. If you're in paid advertising, you probably know that feeling. Your day just dissolves, right? Into this never-ending list of tactical tasks.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about those hours tweaking ad copy until your eyes cross, or, wrestling with landing page layouts.
Yep.
And trying to make sense of so much data, it feels like, well, like you need a PhD just to get started sometimes. Does that sound familiar?
It really does. It's kind of the paradox of modern marketing, isn't it?
Mm.
The very things that are absolutely crucial for success, those details in the ads, the flow of the landing page, understanding keywords, they can also be the biggest time sinks.
Yeah, they pull you away from the bigger picture stuff.
Exactly. Strategy time just vanishes.
Well, what if there was a way to sort of reclaim some of that time, to offload some of that real heavy lifting without, sacrificing quality?
Okay, I'm listening.
That's the promise of what we're diving into today, Gemini Gems. Think of them as your custom-built AI power-ups right inside Google's Gemini platform. And they're specifically designed to tackle those paid advertising headaches. So we're going to explore how these tools, and we're drawing on some insights here from Hovsol Technologies, how they can really shift the game, in terms of efficiency and just being more effective.
And what sounds really compelling here is that these aren't just like generic AI tools hitting a broad target.
No.
Gemini Gems, they're built on this foundation of tailored instructions and specific knowledge you give them.
Okay.
That customization, I think that's the key to making them genuinely useful for the very nuanced world of paid advertising.
Right, so instructions and knowledge, those are the core bits. Can you break down what each of those really means for a Gemini Gem?
Sure. Imagine you're training a new team member, a junior marketer maybe.
Okay.
The instructions, they're like their job description and the standard operating procedures. They tell the gem exactly what you want it to do.
So its role.
Its role, the specific tasks it needs to perform, even the format you expect the output in. Like, give it to me in a table.
Gotcha. And knowledge.
Knowledge is all the background material you'd give that new hire. Your brand guidelines, product info, target audience research, maybe past campaign data.
The context.
Exactly. It's the specific context the gem needs to actually do the job effectively. It's the what to the instructions how.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not just telling it what to do, but also giving it the stuff it needs to do it well.
Right.
So why is really getting that distinction so crucial for making these gems work for you?
Well, because the quality of what you get out is directly tied to how clear your instructions are and how relevant your knowledge is.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out.
Precisely. Vague instructions, you'll get generic, kind of useless results, irrelevant data. The gem's going to go off in the wrong direction. Hovsol really emphasizes this. Being precise with your instructions is absolutely paramount. This means defining a clear purpose for the gem. Is it a copywriter, an analyst, a researcher? Giving it a specific persona to adopt.
Like, act like a seasoned pro.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking down complex tasks into smaller, manageable steps. And even showing it examples of what good looks like to you.
So instead of just write some headlines.
Right, that's too vague.
You'd be much better off saying something like, okay, act as a seasoned direct response copywriter. You specialize in software. Generate 5 compelling headlines. Keep them under 30 characters for our new CRM. Target small business owners. And use this attached document on key features and benefits, plus incorporate these keywords. Much more specific.
Exactly. That's the level of detail you need. And then on the knowledge side, this is where you upload those crucial marketing assets.
Right.
Your brand guidelines, tone, voice, all that. Detailed product specs, your comprehensive audience personas, spreadsheets of keyword data, maybe even successful past campaigns.
So the raw materials.
Yep. Hovsol highlights that the key here is making sure this info is relevant, accurate, totally up to date, and well organized.
Okay.
You want to avoid redundant information, conflicting stuff. Make sure the gem has the best possible input to work with.
And the fact that it can pull directly from Google Drive, that sounds like a huge win for keeping that knowledge current without manually uploading files all the time.
Oh, definitely. If your brand guidelines update in Drive, the gem potentially gets that update automatically next time it runs, depending on how you set it up. Huge time saver.
Okay, so let's take a practical example then. How do these instructions and knowledge actually come together to solve a real pain point? Like, say, just generating ad headlines that takes time.
Okay, good one. Let's say you're launching a new feature for your SaaS platform.
Right.
Your instructions could be, act as a skilled Google Ads copywriter focused on driving signups. The task. Generate 10 compelling headlines, each under the platform's character limit, highlighting the key benefits of this new feature specifically for small business owners.
Clear task.
And your knowledge files. That would include your brand messaging guide, a document detailing the specific benefits and use cases of this new feature, and maybe a profile of your ideal customer.
Okay.
The gem then takes all that knowledge, follows your instructions, and spits out relevant, targeted headlines that fit the platform rules.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture. Now let's dive into some of these specific applications Hovsol talked about. Ad copy generation, that's a constant need, often a real grind. How can a Gemini gem really, alleviate the pressure there?
Well, the core challenge lots of marketers face is just the sheer volume of ad variations needed, right, for different platforms, A/B testing.
Tell me about it.
So a gem designed for this can be a genuine game changer. You'd instruct it to take on the role of an expert in platform-specific ad copywriting.
Huh?
Someone who gets the nuances of Google ads versus, say, Facebook ads. The task would be to generate multiple headline and description options, making sure they stick to all the platform constraints.
Character counts.
Exactly. And incorporate specific elements like keywords, strong calls to action, unique selling points, all drawn from that knowledge you uploaded.
So what kind of knowledge would be most valuable for a gem focused specifically on ad copy?
Think about everything that informs good ad copy. Your comprehensive brand guidelines, definitely.
Right.
Detailed descriptions of your products or services, but really emphasizing the benefits, not just features.
Crucial distinction.
Your meticulously researched audience personas, the specifics of your current offers, promotions, and of course, your target keyword lists.
Okay.
You could even potentially include data on past ad performance, if you format it right, to sort of guide the gem towards what's resonated before.
That's a pretty robust set of inputs. The Hovsol guide gives a great example prompt, I remember, about an eco-friendly water bottle. It really shows how specific you can get.
Yeah, it does.
So what are the critical things we need to keep in mind when we're using a gem for this? It's not magic, right?
No, definitely not magic. The AI can seriously speed up the drafting process, the initial grunt work. But it's crucial to remember the output should always be benefit-oriented.
Right. What's in it for the customer?
Exactly. Communicate that value clearly. Platform limitations, especially those pesky character counts, they have to be baked into your instructions. Otherwise, it'll give you stuff you can't even use.
Good point.
And while the gem can generate options super quickly, human oversight is still vital. You need to check for brand consistency, factual accuracy, and honestly, that spark of creativity that really grabs attention.
Yeah, the human touch.
It's about freeing up your time from that initial, often tedious drafting phase so you can focus your brain power on strategic refinement and testing.
Right. It boosts our capacity. It doesn't replace our judgment. Okay, let's shift gears. Another time-intensive area. Crafting landing page copy. How can Gemini Gems help out here?
Okay, landing pages. The goal with a landing page copy gem is to generate persuasive, well-structured content that's really designed to convert visitors. That's the focus.
Convert.
Yeah. So you'd instruct the gem to act as a conversion-focused copywriter and maybe even a landing page strategist.
Okay.
The task would be to create copy for all the key sections, headlines, body text, features, benefits, calls to action, all tailored to a specific offer or product.
And you'd emphasize the audience again.
Absolutely. The instruction should really emphasize understanding and addressing the pain points and motivations of your target audience, drawing heavily from your uploaded persona research.
So the knowledge we'd feed it for this would likely be, well, more in-depth than just for ad copy, right? Needs more background.
Precisely. You definitely want to include a product service deep dive document, really detailed info. Your comprehensive audience persona, your ICP,
Okay.
a clear articulation of the landing page's specific goal and the offer itself, your brand style guide, obviously, for consistency.
Right.
And optionally, you could even include examples of high-performing landing pages, maybe competitors, or just ones you admire that have inspired your strategy.
The example prompt in the guide for an AI marketing assistant sauce tool, that one was really illustrative. It focused on generating copy sections with clear headings for a free trial sign-up. Made it very concrete.
Yeah, breaking down section by section is a good approach.
So what are the key principles to keep in mind when using a gem for landing page content?
Clarity. Clarity is paramount. The copy needs to be easy to scan and understand the core value proposition almost immediately.
Makes sense. People scan online.
They really do.
Yeah.
You also need a clear and compelling call to action or maybe multiple CTAs that guides visitors towards that conversion goal.
And the benefit focus again.
Always. Just like with ads, focus on the benefits, what the user gains, rather than just listing features. Features tell, benefits sell, right?
Classic advice.
And really importantly, message match. The messaging on the landing page must be a direct continuation of whatever attracted the visitor in the first place, whether it was an ad, a social post. Ensure that seamless experience.
Right, don't promise one thing in the ad and deliver something else on the page.
Exactly. And one last thing, remember, the gem excels at text. It doesn't generate visuals, so you still need to think about design, layout, images, video.
Good point. It handles the words. Okay, so we've talked about creating content, which saves a ton of time. But what about evaluating what we already have? Let's consider landing page analysis. How can a gem help us spot areas for improvement there?
Yeah, this is another really interesting application. A gem can act as your sort of always available on-demand CRO specialist.
CRO, conversion rate optimization.
Exactly. You'd instruct it to analyze your landing page copy and its structure against established CRO best practices.
Okay.
The gem, taking on the persona of a CRO or maybe a UX analyst, would evaluate elements like headline clarity, the strength of your value proposition, readability, call to action effectiveness, message match.
So kind of like a checklist?
Yeah, you can even provide it with a specific checklist of criteria you want it to follow. The output would ideally be a structured report with scores, maybe justifications based on the text it sees, and actionable recommendations for improvement.
Okay, so what kind of knowledge would we feed it for that kind of analytical task?
Well, the primary input is the content of the landing page itself. You could paste the text, upload a document.
Or maybe the URL.
Yeah, if the AI has web access capabilities, providing the URL could work too. But crucially, you'd want to provide a landing page evaluation criteria checklist.
Gotcha.
Hovsol offers a pretty good sample checklist in their guide. It includes things like headline clarity and relevance,
Yeah.
value prop strength, copy persuasiveness, readability, scannability,
Right.
call to action effectiveness, presence of social proof, message match with the ads, mobile friendliness considerations, though the AI will mainly focus on text structure there and removal of distractions.
That's comprehensive.
And you could also include the associated ad copy or keywords and your audience persona just to give it more context for the evaluation.
The example prompt they had for analyzing a sauce-free trial page really highlighted that structured report format scores, justifications, recommendations. Seems useful. But what should we, as marketers, keep in mind about the insights we get from this kind of AI analysis? It's not the same as watching a user, right?
Absolutely not. The AI's analysis is primarily focused on the textual and structural elements and how they align with best practices. It can't replicate the insights you'd get from watching real user behavior via user testing or looking at heat maps.
Okay.
And so the recommendations it provides, they should be seen as informed hypotheses. Great starting points to guide your A/B testing efforts, but not definitive answers carved in stone.
Got it. Test fuel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's still a powerful way to automate an initial objective critique of your landing pages. Saves you time. And it might highlight blind spots you've overlooked because you're too close to it.
Okay, that sounds like a really valuable first pass for optimization efforts. Now let's swing back to the ads themselves. Can a gem help us evaluate the effectiveness of our ad copy? Similar idea.
Very similar idea, yeah. Just as it can analyze landing pages, a gem can be instructed to evaluate your ad copy, looking at it from a performance angle, or at least potential performance. You'd task it with acting as, say, an experienced PPC ad specialist or a performance analyst.
Okay.
The goal is to assess whether your ad variations are likely to be effective based on criteria like relevance to your target keywords and the landing page.
Message match again.
Crucial. Also, clarity of the headline, persuasiveness of the description, strength of the call to action, and just the overall potential to attract clicks and hopefully conversions.
And again, a checklist helps.
Yeah, providing an evaluation checklist is really key here to guide the analysis consistently.
So the knowledge files we'd upload for this ad analysis would include...
Okay, you'd provide the different ad copy variations you want it to analyze.
Exactly.
The list of target keywords those ads are supposed to match, the URL or maybe just a summary of the landing page they lead to, and of course your ad copy evaluation criteria checklist.
Right.
Hovsol's example checklist for this covers things like relevance to keywords, relevance to the landing page content, headline clarity and impact, description persuasiveness, inclusion and strength of a call to action, absolutely, the uniqueness of the offer or your USP, adherence to platform policies, that's an important check, and then sort of an overall assessment of the ad's potential.
Okay.
And optionally, you could include platform-specific ad policies if they're complex, your audience persona again, and maybe even historical performance data, though its ability to interpret that data directly is limited. It mainly works off the text.
Right. The example prompt about analyzing Google Ads for AI marketing tools that emphasized getting a structured report for each ad variation. Seems like a good way to compare.
Yeah, comparing variations side by side with structured feedback is very helpful.
So what are the crucial takeaways or limitations for using a gem to analyze ad copy?
Well, the AI's strength here really lies in evaluating the text for clarity, relevance, and alignment with best practices and the context you provide, like keywords and landing page.
Okay.
It can definitely identify potential weaknesses in your messaging and suggest areas for improvement or testing.
But it can't predict the future.
Exactly. It can't definitively predict click-through rates or conversion rates. Those depend on so many factors beyond just the copy bidding, targeting, competition, seasonality.
A whole ecosystem.
Right. So think of it as a powerful tool for identifying potential issues and, importantly, generating testable hypotheses to improve your ad performance.
Gotcha. Ideas for A/B tests.
Precisely. And also, always remind the gem about character limits in the instructions. It's easy for it to forget if you don't explicitly state it.
Good tip. Okay, this is all proving incredibly valuable for optimizing campaigns that are already running or about to launch. But let's rewind way back to the very beginning of a campaign. Keyword research. Can a Gemini gem lighten the load of that, well, often pretty laborious task?
Oh, definitely. Keyword research can be a huge time drain. A keyword research gem can be a significant time saver and, maybe more importantly, a great idea generator.
Okay, how?
The goal is to have it brainstorm relevant keyword ideas, think broad terms, long-tail specific ones, question-based queries.
The whole spectrum.
Yeah. And then analyze the likely intent behind those keywords. Is someone looking for info, trying to navigate somewhere, or ready to buy?
Informational, navigational, transactional.
Yeah, exactly. And then organize them into logical thematic clusters. You'd instruct the gem to act as an experienced SEO and PPC keyword strategist.
Right.
The task involves generating a list of keywords based on your initial seed terms and the context you provide, categorizing the search intent, grouping them into related themes, and maybe even suggesting a primary or head keyword for each cluster.
So what knowledge would we provide to sort of fuel this keyword brainstorming?
You'd start with your core seed keywords or topics related to your business. That's the starting point.
Okay.
Then provide a detailed description of your industry or niche, information about your target audience, who are you trying to reach. The URLs of your main competitors' websites can be really useful.
To see what they might be targeting.
Yeah, to give the gem a sense of the competitive landscape and related terminology. And optionally, if you have data on your existing keyword performance, you can include that to identify areas for expansion or maybe terms that just aren't working.
The example prompt for sustainable home goods was interesting. It asked it to cluster by product type and user intent. Seems quite sophisticated.
Yeah, you can get quite granular with the clustering instructions.
But what are the key limitations here? What should we be aware of when using a gem for keyword research? It doesn't replace SEMrush, right?
No, absolutely not. It's really important to understand that Gemini, well, at least in its current form, doesn't provide real-time search volume data, cost per click estimates, or keyword difficulty scores. Those hard metrics aren't there.
Okay, so no numbers.
Right. Its real strengths lies in its understanding of language, the semantics. It can generate a wide range of relevant keyword ideas, infer user intent based on linguistic patterns, and do that semantic clustering really well.
So great for ideas and organization.
Fantastic for initial brainstorming, finding related concepts, and structuring your research. But you absolutely still need to use your dedicated SEO and keyword research tools, SEMrush, RFs, Google Keyword Planner, whatever you use to gather those crucial metrics for prioritizing which keywords you actually target and bid on.
Got it.
Think of the gem as a powerful assistant for the initial, often creative stages of keyword research. It expands your thinking.
That makes perfect sense. AI for the creative heavy lifting, maybe, and human expertise plus specialized tools for the data-driven validation and planning.
Exactly. It's a partnership.
Now, a crucial aspect of any successful paid advertising strategy is understanding what your competitors are up to. How can a Gemini gem help us analyze their ad efforts? That seems like another huge time sink.
It definitely can be. A competitor ad analysis gem can provide some really valuable qualitative insights into your rival strategies.
Okay.
The goal here is to analyze examples of their ad copy and maybe their landing page content or URLs, if available, to identify their key messaging themes. What are they really pushing? What are their unique selling propositions, or USPs? Who do they appear to be targeting based on their language and offers? What calls to action are they using? And ultimately, to kind of infer their strengths and potential weaknesses from a messaging perspective.
So you'd instruct the gem to act
Like a competitive intelligence analyst, that's the persona. The core task is to examine the materials you provide and extract these key strategic elements for each competitor you're looking at.
Okay, and what kind of knowledge would we feed into this competitive analysis gem?
The primary inputs would be examples of your competitor's ad copy. You could copy and paste text, maybe upload screenshots if that's easier.
Okay.
Providing the URLs or summaries of their landing pages is pretty crucial too, because you need to see the full funnel, understand their offers.
Right, the ad is only half the story.
Exactly. Optionally, you could include information about your own products or services. This helps the AI identify potential points of differentiation for you.
Ah, clever.
The URLs of their main websites give broader context, and any market reports or intelligence you might already have on their strategies could also be useful context.
The example prompt I saw asked for an analysis of software competitor ads, specifically looking for key messages, USPs, inferred audiences, weaknesses, and then culminating in a summary of potential differentiation opportunities for your business. That last part sounds really actionable.
Yeah, framing the output towards what does this mean for us is really valuable. Hovsol even suggests a conceptual structure for that output report, which should help organize your findings effectively.
But again, limitations. What are the crucial considerations when using a gem for this kind of competitive analysis? It can't see their budgets, right?
Exactly. The AI's analysis is going to be based entirely on the text you provide and its general understanding of marketing principles. It won't have access to their actual ad spend, their targeting settings, or their performance data like CTRs and conversion rates.
Right. No secret sauce revealed.
No. For that kind of quantitative insight, you still need dedicated competitive intelligence tools like SpyFu or SEMrush's advertising research features.
Okay.
However, this type of gem is incredibly valuable for doing that qualitative analysis of their messaging and positioning. It can help you spot patterns in their language, identify what angles they seem to be emphasizing, and potentially uncover gaps in the market or messaging weaknesses that you could exploit.
So good for understanding the what and why of their message, if not the how much or how well.
Precisely.
This is really showcasing just how versatile these Gemini gems can be in tackling so many of those time-consuming, often arduous aspects of paid advertising.
Okay, one final piece of the puzzle for really maximizing campaign performance is ensuring everything is, well, in sync. How can a gem help us check the relevance between our keywords, ads, and landing pages? That dreaded message mismatch. Ah, the alignment check. Yeah, this is critical. It's all about ensuring a seamless and relevant experience for the user, which, as you know, directly impacts things like quality score in Google Ads and ultimately your conversion rates.
Absolutely.
So, a keyword ad landing page relevance check gem helps you assess that crucial alignment. You'd instruct the gem to act as maybe a quality score analyst or a user experience analyst.
Okay.
The task is to evaluate whether the ad copy directly addresses the likely user intent behind the keyword, and then critically, whether the landing page actually delivers on the promise made in that ad.
Right. Does it all hang together?
Exactly. The gem would identify areas of strong alignment, but also potential disconnects. It could provide an overall relevance assessment or score, perhaps, and suggest specific, actionable recommendations for improvement.
The knowledge we need for this alignment check seems quite focused then, less broad.
Yeah, much more focused for this task.
Yeah.
You'd provide the specific target keyword you're evaluating,
Okay.
the corresponding ad copy, probably both headlines and descriptions, and the content, or maybe just a concise summary of the landing page that the ad directs traffic to, or the URL, again, if applicable.
The example prompt for cloud storage for small business was a great illustration. It looked at the alignment between that keyword, ad copy highlighting secure storage and a free trial, and then a landing page that maybe focused too much on enterprise solutions, spotting that mismatch.
Exactly. That kind of disconnect is exactly what this gem is designed to flag.
So what are the key things to keep in mind when using a gem for this type of analysis? It's not actually calculating quality score, is it?
No, it's not. This gem focuses purely on the semantic relevance and the messaging consistency between those three core elements: keyword, ad, landing page.
Gotcha.
While Google's actual quality score calculation involves many other factors, click-through rate, history, account structure, page speed, etc.,
Right.
this analysis is still invaluable. It helps you proactively identify and address those crucial message mismatches that can definitely lead to lower ad rankings, higher costs, and just poor user experiences which kill conversions.
So it helps you fix a key component of quality score and user experience.
Precisely. It tackles that message alignment head-on.
Wow. This has been an incredibly thorough exploration. It's really clear how Gemini Gems can potentially address so many of the, frankly, arduous and time-consuming tasks we face day in, day out in paid advertising.
Yeah, the potential is definitely there.
It's clear they offer a significant opportunity for boosting both efficiency, just getting stuff done faster, and also gaining deeper insights sometimes. But the guide rightly points out, and you've hinted at this, building effective gems isn't just a one-time setup, is it?
Oh, absolutely not. Hovsol really emphasizes the importance of iteration. It's an ongoing process.
Okay.
You need to test your gems in real-world scenarios. Don't just rely on that preview you see during creation. Run some actual tasks through it.
And if it's not quite right?
Then go back and refine your instructions. Be more specific. Add better examples. Maybe break down complex tasks even further.
Tweak the recipe.
Exactly. And similarly, ensure your knowledge base remains accurate and up-to-date. Is that product info still current? Are the brand guidelines the latest version?
Makes sense.
They even suggest A/B testing different instruction sets sometimes. See which version of instructions yields the best results for a particular task.
Interesting. Testing the instructions themselves and that constant upkeep of the knowledge files, that seems crucial, especially when you're dealing with information that can change pretty frequently, like offers or product specs.
Precisely. Regularly reviewing and updating your knowledge files is just essential hygiene for using these effectively.
Right.
And as I mentioned earlier, leveraging Google Drive for dynamic content where possible is a really smart way to help ensure the gem always has access to the latest information automatically.
That's a big plus.
And if you're using multiple knowledge files for one gem, you'll want to maintain consistency across them to avoid sending mixed signals or confusing the AI.
Good point. Avoid contradictions in the source material. Finally, though, it feels important to have realistic expectations about what these AI assistants can actually do. They're not magic wands.
Exactly right. Gemini Gems are powerful tools, assistants designed to augment our abilities. They amplify what we can do.
That they don't replace us.
They are not a substitute for human expertise, for strategic thinking, and definitely not for critical oversight. Always review and validate the output.
Check the work.
Check the work. Ensure it aligns with your brand, your marketing goals, your platform policies. AI models can sometimes produce inaccuracies, hallucinations, as they're sometimes called.
Right.
And it's important to just be aware of the platform's limitations, too, maybe in terms of file sizes it can handle or processing capabilities for really huge tasks.
Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels really clear that Gemini Gems offer this compelling opportunity to reclaim valuable time and unlock new levels of efficiency in managing those often, well, tedious paid advertising tasks.
Yeah, I think that's the main takeaway. By thoughtfully leveraging those clear instructions and relevant, up-to-date knowledge, you really can build these customized AI assistants to tackle a whole range of things.
Right.
Everything from crafting compelling ad and landing page copy, which takes ages,
Yeah.
to performing insightful analysis of your own campaigns and even getting a read on your competitors' strategies.
So for everyone listening, maybe take a moment to think about your own paid advertising workflow. Where are those bottlenecks for you? Where are you spending hours on tasks that honestly feel repetitive or could potentially be streamlined? Could embracing customized AI like these Gemini Gems we've discussed, could that be the key?
Yeah.
Could it be the key to freeing up your time for more strategic work, more creative endeavors, allowing you to move beyond that repetitive grind and really focus on the bigger picture of your marketing success?
It's definitely a question well worth exploring, I think. Google's Gemini platform itself and resources like that Hovsol Technologies guide we've been referencing today,